Hello and welcome back to Flawless Sports. Today we'll be walking you through the Asia Cup. I'm excited for it, and I think even my co-hosts are. We're big cricket fan enthusiasts, and I'm excited to see what happens. I think this Asia Cup is going to be interesting. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, and comment. And while you're at there, why not just turn on the notification bell? I mean, if you're going to do it, just might as well just do it. Anyways, Asia Cup. As the name suggests, only the teams from Asia can participate in it. And I mean, it's been an interesting couple few years. Before, we only used to have the likes of Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and India competing, but we've had some good teams coming up from Asia recently. So, I think without further ado, let's get into the group stages. Welcome to the group stages. So, the first match of the group stage we have today is Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan. A very well balanced match, I think. Sri Lanka have a good squad, so do Afghanistan. Afghanistan's key player would be Rashid Khan, and for Sri Lanka, I think it might be Hasaranga, Asalanka. It's not the same people, but they have a good squad. I think they can really do something. Afghanistan this time around. Sorry, Sri Lanka this time around. They have a good T20 squad. Their warm ups look good. They beat Australia in in the prior series. So I mean, Sri Lanka is looking good. That we'll skip the second game for now of the group stages, and we'll talk about it separately because that one has a special place in most people's heart. I mean, 1 billion people's heart. Let's just say that way. So we'll move on to the third one of the group stages. We have Bangladesh versus Afghanistan. To be honest, Bangladesh have been had up and down time, so I'm not really sure, but I still think. Oh, sorry. By the way, for the first game, I think Sri Lanka should win it, and for the second game, for the third game between Bangladesh and Afghanistan, I would assume Bangladesh to win it. Not that Afghanistan is weak, just I don't. To be fair, in Afghanistan's favor, it just depends on if they can get their players clicking, like your Rashid Khan. Moving on to the fourth group stage game, we have India versus Hong Kong. And sorry to Hong Kong, I have no idea who their players are, who to look out for, how well they've done, and extra. But I mean, if they made it to the Asia Cup, they must have something about them. But I really can't tell you for that one. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments in case one of you follows the Hong Kong cricket team. And no disrespect to Hong Kong, even without I think watching the team, I think India takes this one. I'm sorry. India takes this one, I think, quite comfortably. I hope they don't mind me saying that. So, yeah. Then we have game 5 of the group stage, Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh. This one usually tends to be their own little derby. They usually are up for it, and it usually turns out to be a good game. I'm not going to lie and say otherwise. Uh, going to be a tough game for either team. And I think if I was a betting man, I would still put my bets with Sri Lanka. Just with everything happening in the country, I think this is something they need for themselves, just to push them on. And I think this is the perfect kind of thing that you need when your country is in distress. I mean, basically, this could. I mean, Sri Lanka. I think it's Sri Lanka's game either way. And the last game of the group stage, we have Pakistan versus Hong Kong. As much as I wouldn't want to see them lose to Hong Kong, I don't see it happening. I think that's Pakistan's as well, comfortably. I think India and Pakistan might even rotate their players just to see some guys who how they might do and stuff. No disrespect to Hong Kong, but these are the two titans of cricket, so I wouldn't expect them to struggle against them. Unfortunately, sorry. And now we have the game with the most emotions. The game that matters to the most people. I mean, there's a billion of us, and there's quite a few of them. And this game means everything to both those countries. We're two cricketing nations brought up from the day one to be loving this game and to telling us that this game is as big as the finals for most of us. We were taught from a young age that both these titans go head to head, and it's bragging rights for the rest of the year, whoever wins. And this game means a lot to all of us. So I think it deserves a special section on its own. It's happening tomorrow on Sunday, the 28th, depending on where you are. And for, I mean, this is as good as the finals. In case both of them don't make it to the finals, this is as good as it gets. And from both sides, we have two of the best teams going at it each other in T20. Getting into the teams available for both the Titans, we'll start off with Pakistan. I mean, they unfortunately don't have Shaheen Afridi, who last game we played with them took out most of our top order and really caused us trouble. So that's a good sign for India, I would say, and a big loss for Pakistan. But they still have their main players. We have Babar Azam, who's in the form of his life. As much as I hate to admit it, I think he's one of the best players right now in all three formats. If you just see him play, he's so elegant, classy, and I think he's up there with one of the best right now. And I think he'll really have a good tournament here if Pakistan is to win it. Then we have Fakhr Zaman, who is on fire right now at the moment as well. I think another player who Pakistan need to clutch up for them if they're to go far in this tournament, and he's been doing that with his recent form and his partnership with Babar Azam. So those two are the watch out for, along with Mohammad Rizwan, who's also been having a good couple of months leading up to this tournament, and I hope, not I hope, but I think his form will continue. Moving on to India's team selection. We were spoiled for choice. If I'm being honest, we were really spoiled for choice as Indian fans because we had so much talent coming through, so many players who wanted to play for us. At a point, I think we were dropping some of the big boys just to try and see where we stand with this team. We've experimented a lot coming into this tournament. I hope it does work out for the best. It's been a while since we've won a trophy, international trophy. I mean, Asia Cup would be big enough as well. So we have the Rohit Sharma leading the side as expected. I think this might be the time for Rohit Sharma to come and show his dominance as the captain, his first major tournament as the captain, and I think he will do well. I think he's a winner. We've seen it with Mumbai Indians, and I think he might replicate the same form with India. He's subcoordinate. We have KL Rahul, whose form I can't really judge because he's coming back from injury. I don't know how to feel about that one. He's not played cricket in a while. We have Surya Kumar Yadav, star player. Rishabh Pant, electric as always. Hardik Pandya, guys. I just want to talk about Hardik Pandya. This could have been a whole other video, separate video, just talking about Hardik Pandya. What a comeback of a man we have seen from him. I can't believe this man comeback has to be up there with one of the best we've seen. He went out there, took his break, or rather, let's say, forced break, and then he's come back, and now no one can get him out of the squad because he's just playing that well. He's worked on his bowling, he can ball, he's batting, and he's one of our prized possessions now. If we were to do well in this tournament and actually go far to win it, we need him firing at all cylinders. He might be the key. He might be that player we've been missing for a while now. And this comeback is going to be crazy. I'm going to be looking out for him. I think this is his time to show everyone why he was one of the best rated players, and he's really changed himself. People only thought of him as a finisher. He's worked on his batting as well as his bowling. So I think this one is the one to watch out for. Hardik Pandya. He's my shot. This is going to be an out there shout. He might be even my shout for man of the tournament. I just feel like he's been that good recently that he might actually be on for man of the tournament. Anyways, from a personal standpoint, there's only one man I would love to turn up for this game, especially, would be Virat Kohli. The man, the legend, the status of this man just speaks for itself. He's a legend of the game, and we hope this is the game that he comes up and tells us all why and reminds us all why. A few bad, I would say 3 years or so, does not define who he is, and I hope he's back for this game. I would love to see it happen. I mean, I know the 1 billion Indians would love to see this happen on. If his return game is against Pakistan, there's nothing more we would have wanted. So, I mean, let's hope. I don't know what he's come back from a long break. He's talked about the mental side of the game. He said he's struggled quite a bit, but I feel like he said he's ready now. He's in a much better. He's clearer with what he wants to do. He's in a much better headspace, and let's just hope that he gets the. He comes up, turns up, and shows everyone why he's still the number one in the world. Uh, all right. Anyways, so this game, I think all of you know where I stand with it. So yes, I'm hoping for an India win, and I hope a dominant win, because last time around Pakistan really showed us up. So I'm hoping for a better win. So let's see. Let's get on to it, and I think we'll take a look at the. I'll just predict until the finals what's going to happen, but obviously that's dependent on what happens in the games and stuff. So let's move on. Let's talk about it. All right. So this is how the groups look like, and now we'll take a look at who the top one and top two are going to be from each group. We'll go through and play uh, the remaining super. They're calling it the Super Four games. So B1 would be Group One's winner. B2 is Group Two's win. Group Two's win. Second place. You get the gist. So starting off, let me first predict who I think is gonna top the groups from each side. I think India topped the group for Group A. At least I hope so, because I think Hong Kong. I'm sorry, guys. You're just here for the points for India and Pakistan. Unfortunately, I don't see you beating two of the Titans. Then it comes down to the India Pakistan game, and whoever wins that, I think, decides the first place. But I still feel, I hope at least, India is the one who's going to win that game. So I'll do this as India winning the group. From Group B, it's a very nice group. I'll actually, from a neutral standpoint, I think Group B is actually a more interesting group because all teams can beat each other, so it's going to be more interesting. But if I'm being real, I think Sri Lanka topped that group along with Bangladesh in second position. Sorry to my Afghan fans. I just don't see it. I don't see you guys winning both of the games. So yeah, I think that's how it's gonna play out. Anyway, so if my predictions are correct, so B1 versus B2 would be Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh, which I think Sri Lanka should edge, and A1 was the A2. This would be the most ideal scenario for all cricket lovers. Would be India and Pakistan again. So I think again, India would take it. I'm never gonna not back the team. So it's gonna be India again. So as of now, we have Sri Lanka with points on the board and India. Moving on to the last four games, we'll have A1 versus B1. So that would be Sri Lanka versus India. Uh, I mean, it's gonna be a tough game. When we played last in India, it was a walk in the park, but I don't think at that time the Sri Lanka team was gelling as much. And maybe even the Indian team has come a long way since then, to be fair. But if I'm being real, I think I would go with India still for that one. So that's India 2, Sri Lanka 1 as of now. Moving on to the last three games, A2 versus B2. So that would be Bangladesh versus Pakistan. I think Pakistan pick up their first points there. So we have Sri Lanka with one, and Pakistan with one win, and India with India with two wins. Moving on to the last two games, we have A1 versus B2, which would be India versus Bangladesh. Again, I think should be a standard performance from India, and they get the points. So that's India with three wins, and then we'll have A2 versus B1, which would be Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. And I think this is the game that decides who's coming into the finals to play against India. So, according to me, I think Pakistan have the much better squad. If their players turn up, I think it's a GG for Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, with the quality of players Pakistan have at the moment, it might be a bit tough to hold them back. But you never know. Sri Lanka have some good players, man. They have good players, but yeah, I think it's going to be Pakistan. So moving on to the finals, then, as per my predictions, that would mean we'll have a final of India Pakistan again. I know everyone would be dying to see this happen. But guys, it's a funny tournament. Anything goes once the tournament starts. Nerves kick in. Some people just find that rare touch of form, and things go out of the window. It doesn't matter what happened before. It's all what happens on the day. But if ideally speaking, if this does happen, this would be the third game between India and Pakistan in the tournament, and this would be the one that sets the world on fire. If this actually happens, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to jinx it. I'm not gonna predict the finals between these two, but according to my predictions, this to make it to the finals. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know how if you agree with most of my predictions. And how do you think it's going to turn out? Let us know in the comments below. And for now, peace out. Check out our other content.